progress. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining the Sophomore Mentor Zoom, our third of the year. As always, if you're having any technical issues, send me a text. I have my phone right here in front of me, and I will try to provide technical support while on the call. We're going to cover a little bit of the items that are actually coming up pretty soon, including the career project, what that will actually look like when it comes to our sophomore dinner, and the students presenting, and just some things that are happening this year that I wanted to share with everyone. But before I do share that, I do have my colleague from the Naples team, Maria Bustamante, who would like to share a quick word with everyone. So I will stop sharing my screen and she is going to share hers.
Hi, everyone. I think most of you on the call know me. Thank you, Daniel, for letting me crash today's meeting. I will be short, I promise. I just wanted to share really a great opportunity with everybody and ask for some support. I'm just going to share my screen here. So in an effort to continue to help us make Guadalupe Center sustainable, and we are launching a monthly giving campaign. We have a very generous supporter who has helped partner with us and is offering a $25,000 match for every new monthly donor that comes our way. So this initiative will be going on through the entire calendar year of 2026. So I just, what you see on your screen here is a mailer that went out to everybody's mailboxes. So yeah, just looking for new monthly supporters. We have currently about, I would say 52. Our goal is to get to 100, and we have monthly supporters that give us at all kinds of levels from $10 a month to 100. It's really just depending on whatever your capacity is. So if you could help us share this, we are sharing it through our social media accounts. We are sharing it through our emails. If you have any friends that this might be a good way to get them engaged with the organization, we would be very grateful for your support. Like I mentioned, this will be going on throughout the entire calendar year. So you'll see more communications going maybe to your mailboxes or come up on your social media feeds regarding this. But that's really it. If anybody has any particular questions, I'm happy to answer those. Otherwise, I will let Daniel kind of get back to his presentation today.
Mary, I think you have a question, but you're on mute.
I was trying to unmute it. Okay. So it can be any amount. We just have to sign up somewhere, set it up as a monthly amount, right?
Correct. Yes. So if you go to our website, for example, there is the general donation page, and there should be an option on there is an option on there that lets you make a one-time gift or a monthly gift. And when we see that monthly gift come through, we'll apply it to the match.
Okay. Okay. And so if you hit your goal of how many monthly people do you need?
Our goal is 100.
100, and then you'll get the 25,000. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so we have the 25,000, so we're really trying to drive it. So and all the gifts that come in will get matched dollar for dollar.
Okay.
Up to 25,000.
Oh, okay, got it.
Anything else? I can't see everybody on my screen, but I think otherwise I will let you guys get back to your regularly scheduled programming. Thank you, everybody, for mentoring and supporting our kiddos. I'm sure I'll see you at some point. Thank you, Danny.
Maria. I'm always appreciative of Maria because she helps raise the money and then I get to spend it. So appreciative of what she does. We'll get back to ours. I did want to shout out Esmeralda because she does an incredible job with our sophomores and our juniors. Last week, I shouted her out because of the work she's doing with the juniors and getting them ready for senior year. And on top of all that, she's also getting the sophomores ready for everything that's happening this year and what's going to happen at the beginning of next year. So I did want to shout her out, but I did share towards the beginning of the year that each one of the sophomores is having career discussions where a professional comes into the classroom, shares about what they actually do in their day-to-day role, We did have many presenters come in person, some in Zoom, but we did also try to match it up to certain ones that the students have told us that they're interested in, all with the goal of working on their career project. So, if anyone didn't know before, the sophomores spend the year researching a select career that not only have they seen or heard about, but that a survey may have told them, this is something that shows that you might do very well in this career. They learn about the pros and cons. They learn about the day to day, about what actually happens in that job, because so many of them think, oh, I'm going to be a detective, so I'm going to be out investigating crime all day long. And then someone comes in and tells them, hey, it's a lot of paperwork and you spend half your day doing it. And then they're like, oh my gosh, was not expecting that. So we try to help them, find these sources so that they can learn what it is, learn what kind of schooling it is, because maybe they don't know how much school they have to do. So many of them want to do a doctor, but they don't know that they have to go to undergraduate and then they have to go to medical school and then they have to do their residency. Many colleges already know, when you ask a student, how much more school do you have in you? Most students can answer that and say, I can do another 4 years, or I can do another 6, or I definitely can't do another 8. Students will typically know how much more they can push themselves. But in looking at these jobs, we also want them to know the demand, the pay, and what the turnover rate is in those careers. If they had enough time, they were also going to look up, like, if those people in that career often go into another one, if they have transitions into certain positions, and also what schools would they go to study these programs. So now they'll get to present it to you, their mentor, and to their parent at the mentor dinner on February 25th. They are incredibly nervous, but also they've been preparing for this all year long. And Esmeralda is actually doing practicing sessions with them so that they can practice giving that presentation to their peers before they give it to you guys. So each presentation is only going to be about 5 to 10 minutes. And I ask that you be patient with them because, again, they are sophomores and public speaking is hard for anyone of any age. But you're going to hear a lot of ums and uhs. The guidelines we've been giving them are that their slides really shouldn't have much information. On many of their high school projects, we'll see that they made a presentation for class and then it's just one long paragraph on their slide. And so Esmeralda has actually been coaching them to have 3 to 4 bullet points and then being able to talk about it. Some of them do still struggle with remembering what is on their slide, so she's still coaching them, but we're trying to make sure that they can have that opportunity to share with all of you, what is it that I'm actually learning? And then in that presentation, they're also going to talk about, where they're going to go to school, what they're going to study, and how they're going to get into their career specifically. And will of course try to allow some time for questions. This all happens during the mentor dinner. And so for anyone who came last year, you know that we have our big lab with 4 rows of tables where mentors, mentees, and the parents sit down. What we will actually utilize is our offices and our conference room so that we can spread everyone out and you can have a small presentation from your student. We'll be split across the offices and then we'll also have a table set up at each end. Your student will have an assigned number and then you will be able to go to that number specifically to find your student alongside their parents. They will be able to give the presentation in that office. We do have spare monitors, so the students are going to bring their laptops. They're going to hook up their presentation. They're actually going to come in a little bit early so that they can have everything ready for themselves. And then come dinner time, we'll do the presentations first, and then we will serve the food after those presentations have ended. It will be split into half and half. So at the first piece, mentors will be either in the lab or in the presentation, and then we will switch. Last year, we did a switch where parents went into a second presentation, but it did delay our dinner, so we decided to take that out this year so that we could try this out. This is only the second year that we've done this, but the mentors really enjoyed hearing this from their students last year because they saw, how much work their student put into it, what they were actually finding out. And for the students themselves, they also learned, hey, this is what I got to do. And now as juniors, they're more in a mindset of, hey, I got to prepare for this. I got to get ready for this. And others have learned, that's not really what I want to do anymore. It's a lot different than what I was expecting. Like I said, it's going to be about a 5-minute presentation. We're going to spend about 2 minutes transitioning and alternating, and then another 5-minute presentation. You yourself will only hear the presentation from your student, from them, and then transition back into the lab or vice versa. This might be your student's very first time presenting at all. Um, we often say that students in high school struggle with group projects. What we've also seen is that there are often one student in that group will take lead on everything and present for the whole group. That is the feedback we've gotten from teachers and counselors at Immokalee High. So this is actually putting them by themselves presenting to you and their parent. It is a little bit easier because they might already know you pretty well, and they already know their parents. So it's going to feel more comfortable. But the fact is, they're going to have to remember a lot from the presentation and not just put a block of text. I will say many of the students at this point in time all think they want to study the same thing. They want to go into nursing, engineering, or education. There are very few students who have veered off of that path. So you might see a lot of different students talking about that one, but I highly encourage you to ask them, what are your friends looking up? What did they find out? What do you think about that? So that you can have those conversations with them to kind of learn about those careers as well. So this is the time of year where Esmeralda is also having one-on-one check-ins with the students. I do jump in on them as often as I can, but we do have the 4 grade levels. We start talking to the sophomores about becoming a leader. Oh wait, before I jump into this, are there any questions on the career presentations that we'll have at the dinner? Naomi?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So I'm bringing my husband out. Should he join me for the presentation?
Yes. Yeah. If you're bringing a guest, have them join you with for that presentation. It definitely helps with that style.
Thank you.
Dinner is February 25th, Daniel.
Yes, February 25th. Mary, you had a question?
Yes, I'm unable to make that date, as I already told you. So will Roselda have a chance to still present? Or I don't know if her family comes or they don't come. Will there be?
So for any mentor who's not able to make it, we'll actually have a presentation at the lab that afternoon, not at the dinner. We'll have it at the high school. And a few of the team members are going to go out to hear them present. So that way they still get that presentation experience.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions before I jump back in? So we want them to start thinking about becoming a leader. What we have seen from colleges in recent years, there is a new term called a T student. And every time someone from a college tells me, they always go like this, it's a T student. But it's to signify that they want the top performers. They want people who are willing to become leaders. They don't necessarily have to be, the valedictorian of the class or captain, but that they're willing to go out and engage in those positions such as treasurer, vice president, secretary. In Immokalee, there are a lot of different clubs. I think I may have shared that in the last presentation, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's about 30 different clubs that students can participate in. And yes, there are the captain and president clubs, but there's also for example, the Beta Club, which is the Better Education Through Achievement Club, that does a lot of volunteering throughout the community. And they have what's known as volunteer leaders, where one leader will specifically coordinate for a volunteering event. If they're also a part of the Interact Club, they also have something similar where one student will say, hey, I really think as a group we should go and help clean up the cemetery, or we should volunteer at the park, or volunteer during a football game. Those different leaders can each be, having that experience to be considered a T student. What we also want students to do at this point is to remember that they always should be asking questions from everyone if they're unsure. Because this is also the point where we've seen students in their 4-year career that they'll start to just try to shy or hide away. And if they don't understand something, they're not going to speak up. They're going to try to guess as much as they can and see if they can get away with it. And that's where we like to call them out because that's where we want them to feel comfortable with being confused with asking questions. So ask your students questions about the things that they're talking about, see what else they can dive into, and see if they've thought about what opportunities can they start volunteering for or becoming leaders in. Some of your students have become those leaders already in small roles or maybe even big roles, but there's a lot of different opportunity, even in school. If your students in band, they have section leaders, group leaders, and even the band captain role. I am struggling with the name of it, but in each activity that a student has, they have the opportunity to be a leader. So if they're in one, ask them, who's the person in charge? Who do you talk to? And ask them if they can start following them around during the club time or the meeting times to see how they can then become that person next year and really iron it out for senior year. The reason we push it so early is because most colleges will look at everything up until the end of junior year. While they might become a captain senior year, if their season isn't until spring, that college won't know that. They'll only know what happens to the end of junior year, which is why we push for it so early.
May I ask a question?
Hi, Naomi.
Thank you. So I may have missed the session where all these 30 different clubs were described. So if you have a list of these organizations, I'd love to receive it.
I can include a
Please.
link to the high school page for it in my recap.
Beautiful, thank you. And then the other thing is, my student, and this is Evelyn,
Mhm.
tells me, because even when it comes to our calls, she's teaching every single afternoon until 6 o'clock, or she only gets home after 6. So when are these programs offered?
So a lot of them will meet during lunch or right after school. If there is a club activity, that's where the student will submit what we have as a call-off form to say this club that they're a part of is meeting on this day at this time, and then that will excuse them from work. That's also why we have our scholarship requirement as not the full potential of 400 hours. We have it at 280 so that students can do sports, clubs, or other activities. We try not to let them do volunteering during working hours because that's when they're responsible for students. But if it's something that a club is sponsoring, like such as they're setting up at the football game for senior night, which just happened recently, I believe, for basketball, that's where we'll excuse them. Last night, the Beta Club had a parent night where they were actually showing the parents what they've been doing all year long and how they're preparing for the national competition. So a lot of the students submitted that call-off form to say, hey, I have to leave work early. We're going to beta parent night, and that's where we approve it so that they can still do those activities.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay. My presentation today wasn't too long, but for the entirety of sophomore year, we are tracking their GPA. If they have started doing FSW courses, we are closely monitoring that because it will affect their college GPA. So the first time they start at a university after senior year, that GPA is going to follow them. Right now, as sophomores, some of your students might be taking 1 or 2 classes with FSW. If you're unsure, ask your student, and if they're not sharing too much, send me something, and I can send you over their schedule. We are again tracking their majors because of their career project. Some students might even say that they're interested in doing classes full time with the college campus, such as FSW, FGCU, because they can start doing that during their junior year. So they might be registering for these tests already. We will also start putting information out to parents about the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. That is where they will set up accounts. So we will start sending information to parents. That has not started yet, but that will start soon. And then we are tracking the time they spend on Magooch. If you are interested in meeting your mentee out here in Immokalee on a Saturday, these are the days where DCF is conducting their tests on our campus. So we will have a staff member already on campus, and that would allow you to have a one-on-one session with them in our mentor lounge or in one of our offices. Just shoot me over an email, and that way I can provide your contact information to our staff member who's on campus that day. And then I will send you the staff member's contact info so that you can call them in case there's any mix up or anything. And that is available from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
I have a
Mary,
question.
did you have a question?
Yeah, so going back the slide before, about Magoosh. So are the kids expected already to be starting on doing Magoosh?
Yeah, we try to get them to spend about an hour a week. We
Okay.
do put a bigger emphasis on it during their junior year,
Junior year,
but
okay.
we do put it out there to them right now as sophomores too.
Okay, even though they don't, but generally they don't take the test till junior year, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Mhm. Right. And typo there. These are our events. We got our dinner on the 25th. We have our cultural event on the 11th. The sophomores don't attend senior celebration on April 23rd, but we do put it out there to all mentors in case they would like to attend. I'm sure some of you might be curious what our cultural event is. It is this year a fan favorite. The students love hockey. I don't know why. Well, your students who have never been to a hockey game have no idea what to expect. So I'll start off with that. But by the end of the hockey game, the students absolutely love it. Last year, we got to, or was it 2 years ago, we got to see them go into overtime, into a penalty shootout. And I think there was about 4 fights throughout the game. And it was also fan appreciation night. So they were shooting off cannons of t-shirts and things. The students went crazy and loved it. So we have been bringing this back for many years. Um, this year, it is on Saturday, April 11th at 7 p.m. It is at Hertz Arena in Fort Myers. We are very lucky I planned it out so that we can also attend their fan appreciation night. So we will see T-shirts, prizes being thrown into the audience, a lot of activities that Everblades does to appreciate their fans. That invite will go out. Let me double check that real quick. Oop, sorry, I did have that written down, but it seems my page is not loading. But that invite will go out next month. You will be able to bring a guest if you'd like, and then I map out the seats so that you're sitting next to your mentees. I do try to see mentors who are friends with each other, and if not, then the students that have friends with each other, so that way everyone can have a good time throughout the night. Right. Technical issues. We do have an event coming up. Our annual Buddy Day is happening on Monday, February 16th. If you are interested in that, we do take second graders to Hideaway Beach on Marco Island, where they will get to participate in some activities with a big buddy. Marco Island puts out an email newsletter to get volunteers, to get big buddies signed up. It's a really good event for the second graders because for some of them, it might be their first time out of town. We bus them from Immokalee out to Hideaway Beach. They do activities, and then we bus them back, and they also get a T-shirt and a gift while they're out there at the events. That is all I had for my presentation. Were there any questions about anything that I could answer, or if you have questions for your fellow mentors?
Night of the appreciation dinner in April. Sorry, what was the date for appreciation or celebration dinner? Sorry,
April 23rd.
23rd. Yeah.
You talked about on one of your slides the various tests that they're going to have to take. Are they getting any training for that by Guadalupe, or do you have people coming in to help with that, or are they supposed to take the bull by their horns together with us, the mentors?
So the students get access to Magoosh. That is an online portal that provides test prep for both the SAT and ACT. The students as sophomores will all be, oh man, I've been doing so many years, I don't know what we assigned this year. I think it was the SAT. But then junior year, we will allow them to choose which one they want to prepare for. But with the tests, they're so similar to each other that if they're preparing for one, they're inevitably preparing for the other as well when it comes to the questions that they have and the techniques to answer them. The only main difference between the two tests is the way they're structured. One will have it spread across, I believe, 5 sections, and the other one across 3. And then the way the tests are scored. But as long as they're spending time on Magoosh logging in, they will be able to get that test prep. And then junior year, we actually dedicate an after school session about every other week for students to log in when they're with us at the high school. As sophomores, they have access to the portal already, but this is a test that is for college admissions. And if I'm sure you remember when you were teenagers, when you thought about things that were 2 years away, you probably didn't worry about them until they were right in your face. So that's why, as juniors, we will have dedicated sessions for them to spend time on the test prep to make sure that they are utilizing it.
Thank you.
Did anyone have any other questions? Cool. Awesome. Thank you. I will stop the recording.